Good afternoon. It's Thursday, August 13th. It's 11:30 at the time of this recording. The S&P finished up 0.65% today. The Nasdaq 0.81, Nasdaq 100 1.15%, and the Russell 2000 finished up 0.25%, and the Dow Jones 0.13. Let's get into what happened today. Well, all my charts disappeared, so a little bit frustrated here. So I'm going to try to do this raw and unedited, like always. Just one straight shot through. Today, if you remember, it's very important to watch my videos. Yesterday, we did call out this bull flag here. You can go ahead and corroborate that with the last video. Right now, our call walls here at QQQ are pretty clear, 733.83. We have our value area low. Think about that level as a flush zone. Then we have a point of control where literally price is being controlled, right? We have bulls, we have bears, but that's where all the concentrated buyers are at. Think about it like our gamma wall. Our gamma wall today was 733.83. Coming back over here to QQQ, here's another view here. And actually going back here to this chart for the NASDAQ, again, what we highlighted yesterday was it takes you about just 2 seconds to draw your levels here. I think a lot of people try to do this and that. I've noticed a lot of people are doing like credit spreads here, and I guess it's a bit disappointing for me to kind of see that. I think a lot of people might think that's a skill, and it might sound really harsh and mean, but I don't think it is. I think, in order to be a successful trader, you have to be realistic, right? So, when we think about credit spreads and all these iron condors and all these different strategies, right? Well, just go to Wall Street Bets, guys, and look at how those guys are doing. You might have a few $1,000s when you're trading your prop firms, but like that's not a skill set. If you can't learn to identify structure, how would you have known, right, that the market was going up, right? Because some of these gentlemen that I've seen here in the past couple of weeks, right, they're getting this, they're doing that, right, and they're maybe getting a few $1,000s. Well, how about a margin call? How about a negative $655,000? Typically, the people that you see doing those have really deep pockets, and I think when you get into the real world, right, I always tell people, what if prop firms don't work out? The goal isn't for you to trade a prop firm for the rest of your life. The goal is for you to trade your own money, not somebody else's. I think we got it backwards here. People always think, oh, it's prop firms, but no. That's why everybody spends so much money on prop firms, because they keep blowing accounts. It's not a strategy. It's just a Kalashi bet. Doing iron condors right here doesn't take a skill. You saying, oh, QQQ above and below. I mean, yeah. Why do you think most people who have a lot of money don't do that as well, right? A lot of my friends here in the market who have quite deep pockets don't trade like that. And what I'm saying here is there's a lot easier way to do it. We highlighted it here yesterday. That's why it's very important to put the time and the work and the effort rather, and you're learning to what you see right in front of you rather than doing a Kalashi bet. You could have just observed yesterday here that we mentioned here on the 1,000-tick time frame. Again, go ahead and fact check me. Go to the last video. I was in calls today, right? We did quite well here in the Discord. This is just a clear bull flag right here, right? You didn't need all these Kalashi bets to figure out like what was actually going to happen, right? It's pretty simple, right? Either it's going to be a bull flag like we mentioned or not. Just draw a line through here. At a certain point, right, we talked about how our inverse head and shoulders looks like this, right? They obviously come in all sorts and shapes and sizes here, right? Right, that's a bull flag here within your right shoulder of your inverse. Okay, rip up. Obviously, at a certain point, right, it's no longer what? A bull flag. It just breaks down to what? A bear flag. And that's what I said I believe you have in the market. You literally have head and shoulders, and within your head and shoulders, right, you create bear flags to where you eventually bottom up, and that's pretty much it. And that's why I tell people you don't have to spend a lot of time charting, but you have to start somewhere. But to say, hey, QQQ is going to be above this level and QQQ is going to be below this level, I just don't think that's a skill set, and I'm going to stand on that. Right? Because what happens right when the market chops? What happens when, right, and again, there's different strategies. I'm not saying that you can't do that, but I think to do that every single day, right, well, that's why everyone's blowing accounts. So just take that into consideration. It takes a few videos to, and by the way, just make sure to like, share, subscribe if you really like my content. If there's anything particular that you want to me to go over, I am very transparent. I show you my settings. I show you exactly how I do it. I show you my exact levels. And I tell everybody here every day. It's macro, the what, the why, fundamental, the use case, and the technicals, which is the charts. I don't see anybody on Discord, right, talking about the macro, the fundamental, and the Discord all together. Right? What are they doing? Right? They're guessing every day, but you don't have to. If you just spend a few minutes just watching my video, if you don't want to chart yourself, you'll have a lot better results. You're not, copy trading everybody. The goal isn't for you to copy trade everyone, right? The goal is for you to learn this and then pass it on to somebody else. So just take that in consideration the next time you're thinking about just taking a Kalashi bet. You can learn this right here and actually read structure in real time or what? You can continue to do Bitcoin above or below, because that's really all it is. But it comes with extreme inherent risk, which is why you don't see a lot of people doing it. They only do it on prop firms, right? Because they can't do it in real life. And again, that's just the honest truth. I don't think that's me being harsh. I think it's me trying to help you actually learn and, you know, figure things out. Whereas, right, you're not. Coming back over here to the QQQ, one of the things that I am observing here, we do have a Dragonfly Doji, so that's a very, very bullish chart pattern here. Whoa, hello, all these things here. We have a bullish engulfing candle, and then we have a start of another bullish engulfing candle here. What is possible here in our next candle here for Friday? Well, we have 1, 2, right? And I like to tell you guys we like to wait for those third candles. So we have our engulfing candle. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? And then you have what? You have a candle like that. It can sometimes look like a doji, but this is a little bit better than that. So let's just pretend this is a doji. Oh, I can't draw. I never claimed to be a artist. So we can get our evening star right here tomorrow. Okay, 1, 2. You can get your engulfing candle down here. Okay, or you're gonna create your uppercase H. Okay, doji, right? Typically, doesn't have to be perfect. Extension to the upside here, and really more so that would look like 3 bright soldiers. That is a chart pattern here, right? But again, I really want you guys to pay attention to these levels here. Okay, again, just mark this right here. Previous week high right here, and again, look what's happened every single time, right? So you might create a falling 3 here. Look, 1, 2 up, down, 1, 2 up, down. It doesn't have to be 3 perfectly, right? You had a Dragonfly Doji, bullish, right? Inverted hammer. You know, buyers stepped in, sellers were exhausted here. But again, I want you guys to pay attention to these levels, right? Because again, people are wanting to get involved in these zones. And again, I'm going to show you here, break it down. Stick with me. I know I talk a lot, but again, I'm trying to help you guys understand and get clues and insights to how institutions think, right? Obviously, there's something I'm doing right every single day to where I can stream for 8 hours. And I want you guys to be able to hop on stream so you guys can figure that out and learn how to do it yourself. So again, right here on a 25-minute time frame, right, we have our left, we have our head, we have our bull flag where we ripped up here. Okay, you could argue this is like a cup and handle, right? Okay, and we're kind of rolling over here in the after hours, and we'll get into that a little bit why that happened here in a little bit. And again, right, you can kind of just see here, I didn't even use fibs right here, I just drew a line. Okay, and again, where are you at? Right here, right here, right here, right here. Typically, how far can you go up before you go down? Let me find the highest point that we went to relative to where we're at right here. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and drop a fib down from the top to the bottom where we stopped going down, and let's go ahead and mark that level right here. Okay, we're gonna mark these levels right here, and we're gonna see. So again, where's our possible full price target extension for tomorrow? And where am I getting that from? We dropped our fib from down here. We just visually looked at this chart here. Left, head, bull flag, right shoulder, cup and handle. You don't have to agree with it. I'm viewing chart patterns completely different, okay? You have to be unique with how you see things, guys. And again, free tool here on TradingView, price range. How far have we gone up relative to the past here? So the last time we went up this high was on June 26th. So from the bottom to the top here, that's 2.18%. Okay, cool. So how far are we up here from 2.18%? We're up 1.65. So we have about 0.4, about 55, 0.5% here left, okay? So when you guys are thinking about, you know, going long and short, I'm not saying this is the end all be all, but these are the things you should be looking for, right? When you're looking into charting and getting involved in a position, what are you risking here? I purposely have this like very vibrant here, just to show you guys a tool, right? People use it on futures. I think people use this the wrong way as well. You need to visually see here, right? What are you risking? Okay. So again, looking at this level here, right? What do you do at this level? You go down, okay, right? Or you go up here. Going back to these candles, right? Why is it important here? If you go here to a daily time frame here, why do you think this would be important? So you had a breakout right here. You can't really deny that. Okay. Just draw the line through here. Does not be perfect. Has to make sense to you. Coming back over here to QQQ. What do you think is going to happen? Well, sometimes you actually can't get that answer, to be frank with you, right? But again, we know that our levels are marked. We know that there's zones that we should get involved with, and we know that there's zones that we shouldn't get involved with, right? Yesterday we marked on and highlighted, right? These were really good zones to get involved with. And again, we did. Okay, so where's your next zone up here? That's very likely where you go down or up. 730.54 here. So right, if price opens above 730.54 tomorrow, right, having your intraday levels marked out here, you can go ahead and copy these, is going to help you be more successful as a trader versus copying the market and saying, oh my gosh, we're going up, and why are we going up? Someone might look at the chart here and say, oh my gosh, it's because we have a bull flag, or this and that. I'm going to tell you basically, right, what? Something completely different. Right, PPI and CPI. It wasn't as bad as people thought. Was it great? I mean, that's subjective, right? Everyone's going to get a different answer. But the bottom line is, right, things weren't as bad as the market thought it was, and we've had some really good earnings coming back over here to SMCI. You have to know the why. The market is showing you right here, but people are saying it doesn't. We don't agree with it. This sucks. This is bullshit. And guys, life is bullshit, but you got to roll with it, right? You don't want to play what you think. You want to play what the market's giving you. And what is the market telling you? It is risk on. There's a lot of different terms and terminology that I can go on for, and I think I talk about that along the video. So again, just make sure to like, share, subscribe. Right? Somebody here in the Discord asked me what rate of change is. It's from kind of a literal sense, like it's the rate of change, right? So again, I can give out all these fancy definitions, but how I personally use this rate of change here, free indicator here in my Discord, right, is you have a 0% line. Think about this as a Fibonacci, right? Above it, right, you're curling up here. Usually you see correlation. And again, the hard part for some of these indicators, but I don't like to talk about some of them a lot, is because you're having extreme moves here. Sometimes the volume is always dead, right? Sometimes the volume is dead and it doesn't make sense here. Sometimes RSI can stay up here on a weekly time frame for months, like gold, right? Let's go ahead and just pull up gold here. And again, why is SMCI going up here? The future's looking good for them, right? They're seeing all the things they're supposed to be seeing on the earnings call, right? They're guiding up, talking about backlog orders, talking about how we're going to do things differently here, and that's it. They're trying to increase your cash flow. So a lot of people also say, I don't agree with this company going up here on earnings, or I don't think we should have never went down. And I'm like, what do you mean? You have to listen to what? These phone calls, guys. Because if you don't, you're always going to be guessing, feeling that the market's rigged against you, and it is. You're right. So if you know the market's rigged for you, again, that's why I tell people you have to put a bit more work into things, right, than what? Just hopping on a call for 5 minutes and trying to copy trade. One thing that I really pride myself on is I really try to break it down from a literal sense. I show you the exact tools, exactly how I chart, and when I'm talking for a stream on 8 hours, I'm showing you exactly what my mindset is. I think one thing that kind of disappoints me candidly, and I get it, I'm not responsible for that, but it does suck, is I'll be on stream, right? The minute you don't give a play, right? The past few days, right? Stream was almost empty this morning. We were we did really well here in the Discord today, but never, a lot of people were nowhere to be found. Sometimes, right? People lack patience, right? And what does patience go to? Look at these, right? So every day, right, for the past few days, everyone's like, I want to call, and why didn't you get Nibius, and why did you get that? And I'm like, I'm looking at 10,000 different things. I got kids, I got all these other things, right, to do. I got an actual life myself. I don't really get paid. No one really even gives me tips, right? That's awesome. Sometimes I'll be like, hey, I'm up for 24 hours, no coffee. I'm like, well, got some thoughtful people out here, right? And the reason why, right, is because you're not in really good zones. This is a frothy market. When you're getting these extreme moves overnight, people want to swing contracts. I'm like, guys, it's not financial advice, obviously, but hey, if you want to go ahead and just, grab positions that are going up 15 and 10% every day, which is not normal, be my guest. You can spend $5,000 on your own contract, but if I'm not at a level, if I'm not at a really good zone here, I'm not going to get involved. So the reason why I'm very successful here is the number one mistake traders don't have, and the number one mistake the traders make is they're not what? They are not patient. And patient means you have a level marked out here, and you're disciplined and bound by rules. That's it, guys. If you can't be bound by rules, you're going to have a very, 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 very tough time, guys, in this market. And I really want to be clear about that. This was a key level here that we had to wait for. People got pissed yesterday. You could have bought 740 calls for Monday. They went from 43 cents, I know because it had them, all the way back up to 1.17. And then by close, they were at 33 cents. I was a little bit pissed, to be candid here, but I had my levels marked, right? So sometimes, right, you have to be patient, get involved with the zones you're supposed to be getting involved in, right? I saw a bull flag, I said I'm going to take these, and the rest was history. And I had my levels marked out. And every time I make these YouTube videos, I think people don't understand. Either I'm getting lucky every single day, or maybe there's really something to it here. Maybe this bull, why was this bull flag? Go check, guys, if you're on the stream, go check my video yesterday. Why was this bull flag perfectly drawn out? Someone would have drawn a bull flag maybe like this. Okay, I just drew one blue line through it and said you have a bull flag. Either it's gonna be bull flag or not. That's just technical, right? We had our Nibius earnings yesterday as well, coming back over to Nibius, and they had the $9 billion backlog. Excuse me, the $9 billion payment, excuse me, that they are claiming that they have, which I think is bullshit. Okay? Looking here at Nibius, my levels for tomorrow are 270. In fact, let me just show you again. We'll just chart Nibius in real time, guys. So let's go ahead and chart Nibius, and let's see here. What's a good zone to get involved in? Notice how that works, guys? Look at this. Look. Okay? This isn't an end-all be-all here, but like my point here is like you master some of these clues here, and usually you're gonna have better results than maybe what you're having, right? A lot of people want to get involved. A lot of people want to get involved in these zones over here. And again, I draw my fibs a little bit different, but sometimes people like to get involved in these zones right here, right? People want to grab calls like maybe right here at 261, right? But they're not understanding their levels. Like, hey, dude, usually you reject here, you go up here, and like, how much are you risking, right? So you go long at like maybe like 261 here, and like maybe where can you go up to? 14% here. But realistically, like, where's your next level down if you're going long right here at 259, 261? It's more so like down 7% here. And people make that number one mistake every single day, guys. And again, I'm not responsible for people's actions, but dang, it just sucks. You know, it's like when I'm on stream for 8 hours, my expectation is like we really can actually start to learn these things here. And you can't learn, it's just, guys, and we're going to be really, really clear. It's going to take a lot of time. You're not going to master this in a month. Anybody telling you that is full of shit. If someone's telling you they can sell you a course that's going to be like, you know, done with boot camps, that's just not true. This took me a lot of years. I lost a lot of money, right? I made a lot of money and I lost a lot, right? And what was the difference for me? What changed to where I could retire and not have to work, right? Making these videos like I am right now, putting the work in, which I really want people to start doing here. I lose people after, I look at my stats, I lose people after like 5 minutes. I'm not sure why. I'm talking very, you know, clear. I think I'm very concise here. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just the viewers itself. But, you know, again, I try not to take it personal. It's just like, shoot, well, if that person, right, can't understand that, maybe somebody else will. So, you know, sometimes when I'm feeling really burned out or kind of like not really happy with how I'm growing, I just think about, well, you know what, maybe there's somebody else out there that's really going to respect what I'm doing and really try to lock in. And that gives me hope, and hope is all I need, right? That's all I need here in life. Going here to SPY, your levels for tomorrow here are 778. Your upper price target extension, let me just drop my indicator on here, okay? And again, in order to use indicators, guys, you need to what? What do you need? You need to know the candles, right? Why? Because they influence what? The indicators. So my overhead levels for tomorrow are believe it or not, 785. With that first price target extension here of 72, and then your levels right here to the downside are 7. Well, I'm a little bit thrown off here. I've been waiting all day to not get food. It's 12:27 a.m. and I guess my Uber driver just decided to fucking steal my food. I watched the camera, so I don't know. So somebody asked, like, why would you steal someone's food? Why? Gosh, it's like, I'm trying not to curse. I've been getting better at it, and it's just like, why? So here's a control bar. I was gonna be done with this video, then it's like now, anyways, so whatever. So when I talk about a control bar, let me find one for you. So a control bar, so a control bar is also known as like a mother bar. Again, there's so many different terms. I think a lot of them are just kind of for like you know, to make it look cool and sexy, so you click on the video and then they don't actually know what they're talking about. But a control bar to me is this, and we'll find one on a chart. So if you like technicals, if you want to understand how to use indicators, this portion of the video is for you. We can go over earnings today real quick, but I'll go over after this. I mean, I don't want to really talk about earnings. I just want to kind of go over technicals and kind of things to watch for tomorrow. So key levels that you want to watch tomorrow is that call wall. That is where gamma was pinned here. We're at a call wall here at 733. We obviously rejected there, and again, this is a really good rejection zone here that you see as well. So your call wall for tomorrow, going tomorrow, is 733. Your point of control is 731. Your value area low, your 50%, is right here at 729. Break that, you're gonna flush. It's not the end all be all here, okay? But again, I want to go over some technicals here. Going over here to SPY, if you're one of those day traders, okay? The call wall is, where's SPY at? The call wall for SPY is, okay, I guess my chart just disappeared. The call wall for SPY, let's just mark it here in real time. And I'm going to need to drop down to a different time frame here. I'm not really wanting to use this. Actually, we can do that. Fine. Our call wall, you can see that's inaccurate for me. Our call wall, well, you can kind of see it right here roughly. It's like value area high is right here at 779. We're going to mark that. Our point of control, you can kind of see it, and there's a few ways to kind of get your levels here. So one of the ways I like to think about candles here is this, right? This is a bullish engulfing candle here in progress, right? Buyers are in control, right? You started up here at 744. Your high of the range was 779, right? Drop your fib here, okay? That's how you use your fibs. Top to the bottom, swing high, swing low here. People use it for different time frames. I use it for every candle. I use things differently. You can do what works for you, okay? And right here, I want to hold above 776. Under it, right? We always talk about this in the videos. Under it, bearish, right? Above it, bullish. And again, why is it important to have the correct time frames? Your 1 minute candle is going to have nothing on, right, a daily time frame. It's going to have nothing on a weekly time frame and so forth, right? Your 1 minute will have nothing on a 6 hour. A 6 hour will have nothing on 8. Like, it's all relative here. So, right, when you start to drop these fibs down here, right, then the levels actually start to make sense. You see how that works? So I can already observe my point of control, right? Where's your put wall? Like your actual flush zone right here, okay? Right here, okay? And there's different ways to view it, right? It's all relative. Again, maybe what might this be here? Point of control here. Now, one thing that I am observing here in real time using technicals here is you have a doji here, right? Indecision candle. And again, we talked about this with QQQ as well. We have your indecision candle, right? I actually don't know what I talked about, to be honest. I lost track of the video. But right here, QQQ, right? You have it's not quite a doji here, but again, I want to wait for that third candle. Are we going to get an evening star here, okay, or an uppercase H? Okay, so at a certain point, right, a morning star candle, doji, bearish engulfing, typically doesn't have to be, or it comes in a 3 black crows here, 1, 2, 3 down, right? We can say 1, 2, 3 down. Dragonfly doji, gap up here. Okay, you could also see that's a falling wedge. If you go to like a smaller time frame here, you have a bearish flag of liquidity here, and now you have your falling wedge, right? Again, that's what it looks like in a shorter time frame. Okay, and then right, you have a bullish engulfing candle. Okay, so going back over here to SPY on our chart here, right? I'm waiting for that third candle. What is that third candle going to be? Sometimes you get 2 candles up here, right? Sometimes you get this, and you sell off here, right? 1, 2, 3 down, falling 3, gap back up here, rising 3. Gap back down, bearish engulfing candle, takes out the 50% line. You can mark it right here. And again, just visually looking at the chart here, you can see I didn't even use fibs for the sequence here. Bam. Okay, so right, we might get 2 candles of indecision here. Typically Fridays can be chop dates. I don't really like to trade Fridays. I like to be done relatively quickly. You typically will get your moves at open and or kind of mid-noon, 11 o'clock to kind of 2 o'clock. I've noticed in the past, at least from October to kind of December, is typically where you're dropping in the afternoon and or rip. So right, those are the moves here. You can also use gamma here to understand what the volume is looking like. Where are dealers stacked up here? Is gamma pinned? Are all the orders down here, right? Are all the orders up here, right? There's a lot of different tools you can use, right? But all we're using right now is these fibs, anchored volume profile to figure out our levels for tomorrow, okay? So what do we have here, right? A doji. A doji is what? Indecision. Right, so we don't know if we're going up or down, right? It's 50-50 here on the actual candle itself. The market hasn't made its mind up yet. Okay, either we're gonna get right what an uppercase H here, because that would be the third candle here. Okay, for tomorrow. Okay, or we're gonna get a chop here, right? or we can get a what? An evening star. So the levels you need to pay attention for tomorrow, and how you can get your levels specifically for tomorrow, even beyond this, is what? Mark your previous day high, mark it. Okay, if you can't break the previous day high, it's nothing to talk about. Okay, mark your previous day low here. Uh-oh, my bad. Mark your previous day high. Okay. Mark your previous day low. Okay. And where's your middle zone of this candle on the daily time frame? 776.30. Okay. Where's your other levels here? Okay. If you're struggling to use technical indicators, if you're struggling to read price action, I would encourage you just to join the live stream. There might be days where I don't take a trade. I don't think I've had a day like that, right? And again, I get it. Someone wants to go to a different Discord and they want to take a billion plays. The more plays you take, the more you're willing to, the more you're risking to lose. Okay. You have to be patient. Patience will pay you. It's not financial advice. That's just a life strategy, right? Good things come to those who are patient. I've lost a lot of money in the past, right? And I've mastered the skills and discipline, right? To what? I know when to get involved and when to stand aside, right? When you start to get charts that look like this, right? A lot of people are losing here. If you're one of those people here, it's okay. Tomorrow's a new day. But what choices are you going to make heading to tomorrow? I want you to think about, journal, maybe write in the comment section the things that you're struggling with here, and maybe we can figure things out together. Hope to see you tomorrow on the live stream. Take care. Holla Point out.